What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Anthony Simmons here with Higher Heights Podcast, and today I'm going to be talking about Jamele Hill, former ESPN analyst Jamele Hill. I'm going to be giving my take on her latest rant defending current ESPN analyst Malika Andrews. As we all know, Malika Andrews is the host of the NBA Today show. Now, Malika Andrews is currently taking fire via the internet for her perceived disrespect. I'm not going to say perceived, her actual disrespect toward her co-workers who happen to be black men. Now, Jamele Hill has come to her defense, saying that she is appalled, taken back by the visceral response of not only men, but the majority being black men on the internet, taking the approach that it was all good just a week ago, fam. Black men were okay with Malika Andrews as long as she was a smiling, beautiful face. But the moment that she offered her opinion as a black woman, it became a problem. Jamele Hill is saying that black men only have a problem when a black woman expresses her opinion, when she speaks up. Now, I'm going to keep it 100. I'm not going to make this about race. But let me tell you this. The only reason race comes into play here is because we are dealing with black people. We are dealing with black women and black men. And let me tell you something, Jamele Hill, before we get into this video. I used to like you as an analyst. I think you are very professional. I used to like your takes. You had some very interesting views on your coverage of sports, and I really could appreciate it. I think it's a shame that you got canceled due to political comments that you made. But be clear, it wasn't black people that canceled you. All right, before we get into this video, fam, you know what I need you to do. I need y'all to run those likes up. I got a lot of people viewing these videos, and it's a shame when a lot of people view, but they're not running them likes up. I really need y'all to do that for me. Run those likes up. Also, I need y'all to subscribe if you're not already doing that, and hit the notification bell. With no further ado, let's get into this video. Yo, shout out to the Pink Book Lessons podcast, y'all. Listen, I need y'all to go show this lady some love. I got some of my clips from her channel. Hopefully, she doesn't mind me using them. I like the way that this lady is being objective in her view toward this issue. She's also breaking down this coverage of Jamele Hill defending Malika Andrews. So shout out to Pink Book Lessons podcast. If y'all ain't checked her out, go to her channel. She's doing great things over there. Subscribe, hit the notification bell for her. Shout out to Pink Book Lessons podcast.
This is why sports is such a it can be a very unwelcome space, for women, because, I was just going through some of the comments, and it was just interesting how not only was there cheering in terms of knocking Malika down a peg or two, but it was a whole lot of this is why women don't belong to sports. And who is she to, even with Kendrick Perkins, who is she to challenge Kendrick Perkins and Richard Jefferson? And she's never played, and all this kind of stuff, and all that noise that most of us who are in the game have heard that our entire careers. Like, that's not a new insult, my man. It's not new. My whole career. I know I didn't play. I got it. Okay, I didn't black out at that time. I was in the NFL and missed it. I already know. Okay.
Former ESPN analyst Jamele Hill has gone off on a rant in her latest podcast defending Malika Andrews and her actions, not only against Big Perk, former Celtic player and current ESPN analyst, but also against Stephen A. Smith and a litany of other professional black men who just happen to play the game that they cover today. So she's protecting and covering and coming to the defense of Malika Andrews. She says that black men are only offended because a black woman gives her opinion. This is gone throughout the history of time. She says she faced it so many times coming up to get to where she was. She heard the scrutiny that, oh, you didn't play this game. Well, the sad truth of the matter is you did not play the game, ma'am, that you are trying to cover. And while we can respect your opinion, you have to defer to people who play this game. I can study brain surgery all I want. I can read all the books about brain surgery. I can look at the diagrams and the pictures and the drawings. I can get intel about brain surgery. But if I'm on a panel, a talk show, giving my opinion about brain surgery, and there's an actual brain surgeon on the panel, I'm going to defer to them every time. They're going to have the floor, and their opinion is going to supersede mine every time. That's just fact. That's just fact. I know you don't like to hear it. I know you want to live in a world where you're professional and you went to school and you got your degree and you know how to speak and you know how to articulate yourself, and all those things are well and good, lady. But when it comes down to the intricate details of actually playing the game, you have to defer to the professional who actually played the game at the highest level. That's just fact. Now, you also said in your rant that you are appalled or taken back by the black men that have came to attack Malika Andrews. Let's look at fact here, first of all.
Are coming at Malika Andrews for this, saying that, she treats black men poorly. She is pushing a pro-feminist agenda at ESPN and trying to shut people down. Have you seen this discourse, and can you help us make some sense of it?
Oh, yeah, I've definitely seen it. And I caught some strays because of it. And because, the ashies, as I call them, the ashies and the incels decided that they wanted to either try to weaponize me against Malika or bring up the fact that she is just among a long list of black women at ESPN who hate black men.
And they are all telling the truth. Y'all have a problem with the black men. It's
hurtful because a lot of the people saying that, they don't know how hard it is to get to where a Malika Andrews is, where I am. Malika Andrews is not even 30 years old, and she has her own daily NBA talk show. She was, I believe, like the youngest sideline reporter ever at the NBA Finals. She's just, over the last 2 years, been crushing it. The first woman to host the NBA draft, which she did earlier this year.
And I just love how she's naming all this stuff like Malika built the show or the platform. That's ESPN's show, not Malika's. They decide when the lights will come on and off. And they can replace Malika with another Malika tomorrow if they wanted to. She built none of that. You can consider everything that she listed opportunities given to Malika. And yes, it's hard to be a woman covering men's sports, but it's still nowhere near as hard as what the men that she's covering had to do to get where they are. They really had to earn their way with hard work and sweat. And think about it, Malika and Jamele, they wouldn't even have those jobs if it weren't for those men. And then another thing, why don't they want to be WNBA reporters? You have these strong women that adopted feminism, but they rather fight for the job that they say is so hard to get versus working as WNBA reporters and helping that league.
You're covering a sport that is played at the highest level by who? Predominantly black men. The NBA is predominantly black. Second thing, you say it was hard for you to get in this position to cover these black men in these professional sports. Well, somebody brought up a good point that I don't understand, and I thought about this too. Why don't you become a WNBA analyst? Why is it that you and Malika Andrews of the world are so anxious to be covering men's sports? Because I'm telling y'all what it is. The real truth of it is you like to be running with the big dogs. You like to swim with the sharks. And not only do you want to swim with the sharks, you want to dominate the sharks. You went off because you said that Stephen A., you didn't like how people were saying that Stephen A. checked Malika Andrews. Oh, and he did check her, by the way, while you were saying that he didn't really check her. He did check her, and he deserved to check her in a calm, professional way.
What the hell is the back for? They used to call me Crazy Joe. Well, now they can call me Batman.
He reminded her that it's his show. You said that was uncalled for. He really didn't have to. You don't understand why he tried to remind her that it was his show. Well, because she forgot. She obviously forgot whose show she was on when she called his show going off at him like he's a little boy. She forgot. And let me remind you this. Let me say this too before, so you guys can understand. Black men do not have a problem with a woman expressing her opinion. Black men had a problem with Malika Andrews when she became unprofessional on national TV. And you could clearly see the hate and the mannerisms that she was showing on national TV. And it's not only black men. Shout out to the women who are doing a great job of covering this Malika Andrews subject as well. I've seen some great YouTubers. I'm going to have to get their names and shout them out because they're being very objective and they're not being selective listeners. They're not just hearing what they want to hear. So Jamele Hill, let me say this to you. I used to like you as an analyst, seriously. Not like you, attracted to you, but I used to like you as an analyst. But this is the problem with black women who get in these positions of power. There are insecurities. There are issues that are deep-seated within you that you guys probably need to work out before you get on these cameras. And you can't hide it. And when you look at the number of white women and how professional they are, they don't attack their counterparts. They do not. Let's look at the film of white ESPN female analysts. They are not visceral as the black women. They are not as quick to be so openly opinionated when it comes toward countering their counterparts. They're not trying to attack their counterparts. They are very professional. And definitely when they're talking to a professional athlete, they're not trying to interject or interrupt or supersede their actual experiences. But you, the Jamele Hills and the Malika Andrews of the world, do these things. Nobody made up these video clips that Malika Andrews has that have scoured the internet about Malika Andrews. We can't make her be in these situations, these awkward moments that have surfaced since this whole thing has taken place. Nobody can make these things up. These videos are the fact. So Jamele Hill, why don't you chill? Why don't you take a step back and go, whoosa, and be objective, which you should be trained to do. Be blessed.